If you're like me, you're a total habits nerd and you love thinking about how to optimize yourself so you can take it to the next level. If this is you, you're in the right place. This is the Max Potential Habits podcast. I'm the host, Dr. Amanda Barrientez. My company is NFA Coaching, and every week I bring to you tips, tools, and inspirational interviews to help you thrive in your life and business by optimizing your habits. And this week, I want to talk to you about what would it be like if you were to have the best year ever in 2020? What would that actually take? Think about it. I want you to stop whatever you're doing for a couple of minutes. Obviously, if you're driving, that might be a little bit hard. Just visualize and focus with me. Think about what it would look like to wake up on December 31st of 2020 and look back at your year and just want to jump up and give yourself high fives, pinch yourself and go, holy moly, how did I create the best year ever? The best year of my life. What would that actually take? The reason that I'm a habits nerd and I love thinking about how to optimize myself is because in order for you to thrive and have a successful, meaningful, joy-filled life and business, you've got to optimize your habits. What does that actually take? That's what I want to share with you today. First, obviously, you're here because this is called the Max Potential Habits podcast. You're interested in habits. You're interested in optimizing yourself so you can thrive in your life and business, so you can take it to the next level, so you can get where you want to go, so you can be inspired to live a meaningful life. What are habits? I love the definition that I came up with I came up with this through listening to a lot of different habits research, researching, loving James Clear, Atomic Habits, really appreciating and valuing. One thing that's in common in habits research is thinking about how it's a repeated pattern. So my definition of habits is that habits are a repeated pattern of thoughts, decisions, and actions that over time become automatic. What this means is that if your habits are set up for success, awesome. You have autopilot habits that are getting you where you want to go. Because your thoughts, decisions, and actions are aligned in a successful direction, you can wake up every day, do what you want to do, and create the outcomes you want. If they're not set up in a direction for success, you're going to suffer and struggle and be frustrated with your outcomes because your autopilot habits are taking you away from success. Now, the crazy thing is that if you think about it, way back when Aristotle actually said that we are what we repeatedly do, excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So excellence is not an act, but a habit. I would argue that your actions are a habit, so that quote is partially true, but what I like about it then is thinking about excellence as a habit. You can change them at any time. You weren't born with your set of habits. You started to develop them over time and they became autopilot habits because they were repeated thoughts, decisions, and actions. So if you want to shift your habits, you've got to start to look within, get crystal clear on what your daily thoughts, decisions, and actions are. And if you don't like the outcome, strategically shift them. I call this strategic habit formation. So in strategic habit formation, it's this period of time where you're becoming aware of your unconscious drivers, your autopilot habits, that are keeping you going in a direction so that you can bring your unconscious clear into your conscious level and then make a conscious decision to shift in a new direction. 95% of what we do is said to be unconscious, and 95% of our habits, 95% of our outcomes are a result of a habit. So if you think about your life and your business right now, you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, I don't like this aspect or this aspect. I really want to shift it in a new direction. You've got to start to think, okay, what is it that I'm doing on a daily basis that's in autopilot mode? What do I get up and do as my morning routine? What do I eat? How much do I sleep? Who am I spending time with? How am I letting my mind control me in terms of being a prisoner of my mind, where I'm having these negative thoughts all day, inner critic beat up mode, where I beat myself up, I shame myself, I live in an uncomfortable space. If you are doing those things, that's just a habit. Beating yourself up in inner critic mode is a habit. Joy is a habit. Exercising daily is a habit. You know, I like this simple example of thinking, let's say you had 100 pounds to lose. All of us know that you could go online right now and there are millions, literally millions of articles, videos, books, and resources that will teach you various ways how to lose weight, right? None of us could disagree with that. The trick is you wanting to go and look for that information and then you implementing what you're learning. So you have got to be willing to do what it takes. In my 4-step habit transformation process, these are the 4 elements: desire, clarity, action, celebration. So let me break these down. You've got to have the desire. So first you have to have the desire to go online, find a coach, get a counselor, look to people who have been successful in those areas that you want to be successful in and start doing what they're doing. You've got to have the desire. You've got to have a be willing to do whatever it takes attitude. I call this the NFA mindset, where you're no fucking around, you're serious, you're willing to do whatever it takes to get the outcome that you want. You're willing to do whatever it takes to lead an inspired life. You're willing to do whatever it takes to create the business that you love, where you get to get up every day, be your boss, be in charge, and do you. Create the lifestyle you want, create the relationships you want. The people who have those outcomes are masters of their habits, which starts with desire and commitment and clarity and action and celebrating. So first, desire. Have the desire. You've got to ask yourself these questions. What specifically do I want to change? Why do I want to change this habit? And how will changing this habit improve my life or business? That's desire. That's getting you clear about your desire. The reason I think it's important for you to consider the why is because if you don't have a strong enough why attached to the change, it's not going to be long lasting. You're not going to be strategic enough to shift it consistently enough for a long enough time for it to then become a successful autopilot habit. Number 2, clarity. Uncover your autopilot thoughts, decisions, and actions forming this habit. So you want to ask yourself, what are the unconscious fears and drivers and strategies that I'm using right now? So we have all kinds of unconscious habits that lead us down the road that we're going on. If you're looking into your outer world, you don't like what you see, remember your outer world is a reflection of your inner world, which means your thoughts aren't aligned with your actions and you're not getting where you want to go. So in order to shift that, you've got to get conscious. Start journaling, meditate, talk to people in your life and say, how do I show up? What do you see me as? What do you see I could shift? And you have to, again, have the desire and be willing to look at yourself clearly with that NFA mindset of like, I want to be the most optimized badass I know how to be, which takes you looking in the mirror and being honest with yourself. Stop lying to yourself. If you want to have the best year ever in 2020, you've got to look at yourself clearly as to the best of your capabilities and be willing to see who you are and do the work to shift. Anyone can do it, literally anyone, but you've got to be willing and you've got to get clarity on why it is you want to change, what it is you want to change, and then take action. And in this action part, you're creating those strategic habits. You're implementing consistent, daily, strategic actions. Ask yourself every morning, what are the 3 to 5 highest priority action steps I can take today to shift this habit, to fulfill my vision, to achieve my goals, to be the most empowered version of myself? What are the top 3 to 5 highest priority action steps? That one question alone, considering that, writing it down and then taking action will get you so far in 2020. So when you're sitting on the couch on December 31st, 2020, and looking back at your year, you can celebrate yourself, which is number 4, celebrate yourself, and go, I did it. I'm awesome, which then creates a confidence loop and helps you keep going in that direction, the direction of your dreams. Dreams don't fall in your lap, we create them. Joy is a habit, like I said. Success is a habit. And alternatively, all of the failure, well, I don't want to say failures because I like failures. I think that they teach you. But any place where you're unhappy, it's a habit. If you're beating yourself up, it's a habit. If you're joy-filled, it's a habit. So practice this process, desire, clarity, action, celebration, to turn yourself into the most empowered version of yourself so you can have a thriving, kick-ass 2020. And if you're liking this podcast, please, please, please leave a written review, subscribe to the channel, share it with friends. I want to see you thrive in 2020. I'll be back next week. I hope you have a killer week. Awesome, amazing, incredible, meaningful, joy-filled, thrive, and alive week. I'll see you soon.